profound professors here. The respected sir, Professor Dr. Bimlendra Kumar sir already has joined. Thank you very much and welcome, sir. This is the first our class on behalf of you. And Professor Dr. Bimlendra Kumar sir, he is one of the iconic personality in Buddhist teaching who spent more than 30 years in teaching. And he wrote more than 18 books and 115 articles in a different perspective of Buddhism. And most importantly, the Dr. Saab has recognized one of the expert in Pali and most importantly Buddhist studies. So without further ado, may I request to Bimlendra sir to proceed your sessions. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Kamal Thabaji, and dear Dr. Manik Ratna Sakyaji, Dean Faculty of Buddhist Studies, and the students who have joined this our MDD program. And this is the first class of our research methodology. So, in the introductory class, when there was a program on the first day, we had discussed about the syllabus of our MDD program and what are the courses which are meant for the research methodology and how a dissertation is being submitted for the master degree course. So we had discussed in a very detailed manner in our introductory class. Today I am going to discuss the first unit of our research methodology, that what is research and what are the scope of the research and what are the types of the research we will discuss. As you all are aware that the word research is made up of two words, re and search. Here, re is in the sense of again and again, and search is in the sense of investigations. We'll discuss about the terms, how some of the technical terms which are available in our Pali canonical text related with our research, we'll discuss, and how does this research. So, research generally is understood as a systematic knowledge of anything, and whenever it is a systematic investigation for the sake of advancement of the knowledge is being done, then it is called as research. So research, we have seen that search or investigate again and again. It means that we are possessing some of the knowledge, and when we are making advancement of the knowledge in any field, whether it is in technology or in the sense of literature, then it is called as research. How the ideas, thoughts, or theories or principles are propounded and how these are also developed as a for the sake of advancement of the knowledge. And this advancement of the knowledge is in the sense of our advancement of the country, nation also. So all the researches or investigations which are being done, these are for the sake of advancement in the knowledge, whether it is in technology, industry, literature, or whatever the fields or subjects we are having. Generally, research is of two types, pure research and applied research. Here, pure research is also called as basic research. Basic research is that when the researches or investigation or systematic search are being done by an researcher, then it is called as a pure research or basic research. This is for the sake of advancement of the knowledge. But whenever the theories or the principles or the ideas or the thoughts which are applied in our day-to-day life for the sake of advancement of the knowledge, then it is called as applied research. We are having like applied physics, applied mathematics, applied chemistry. In the same way, we are also having applied Buddhism also. So, whenever the ideas or thoughts or principles of Buddhism, how the teachings of the Buddha are applied in our day-to-day life, this is called as applied research. So, there are basically two types of research: pure research or basic research, and another is the applied. You can see that how the disciplines related with the social sciences, applied sciences, and natural sciences, and arts and humanities are depicted here. So you can see in the case of arts and humanities related with our literature, being a student of Buddhist studies, those who are making research, they are coming under the pure or basic research we are making for the sake of advancement of the knowledge, or we are making systematic investigation for the sake of advancement of our knowledge. So there are two types of basic research which are depicted here, and the disciplines are also given under the applied sciences or the technology, that is civil engineering, mechanical engineering, electrical engineering, and natural sciences. We are having physics, chemistry, mathematics, biology. These are coming under our natural sciences. And the social and creative professions like management, education, social work, and the subjects related with our social, that is the political science or sociology, these are coming under the our applied, because the researches are done for the case of our applied. But being a student of arts and humanities, the subjects philosophy and religion, languages in which our Pali language and literature, Sanskrit Buddhist literature, Buddhist philosophy, Tibetan language literature, Chinese language literatures, these are coming under the our languages. And history, political science, sociology, and psychology, these are when they are done on the basis of the qualitative research, that is the analytical research or descriptive research, then it is called as pure research. Let us discuss that what is research and what research is not. We have seen that research is generally, it is not only gathering the informations or the facts or the ideas from the literatures. It is not just interpretations of all these things. But whenever we are making any a statement in the research, it must be given by the references or citations, or by the footnotes or endnotes. So what research is not that, it is not a MA note, that is the undergraduates or postgraduates when you are taking notes of the teachers. This is not research. But when you are writing for the research or dissertations or the research paper, there will be no any abrupt statement of or ideas or the thought. Whatever you are writing, it must be substantiated by the references, citations. So research is not just information of the or gathering. Research is not rearranging the facts and figures alone. In during the MA and BA honors courses, we are just making the notes, and it is not arrangement of the facts or figures alone. Research is not playing of the words. Sometimes the words are also the very good words are used in the literatures, but it is not research. Research is not a sales gimmick also. What is research? We have seen that research is the systematic investigations for the sake of advancement of the knowledge in any subject. So, whenever the investigations are being done, there are some research questions. On the basis of the research questions, we are having the statement of the problem. And on the basis of the statement of problems, we are having the objectives. And whenever we are having the objectives, then there are hypotheses. And on the basis of the hypothesis, there are research methods, whether it is qualitative method or quantitative methods. There are so many research methods we will discuss in our due course, but these is called as research. Whenever we are making systematic investigations with the problem or with the research question, this is called as research. Research accepts certain basic assumptions or the theories. There are some thoughts or ideas. And whenever we are making any literature review, the thoughts and the modalities and the conclusion or the findings, we are making a review of any scholars. So in that sense, research accepts certain basic assumptions or the theories, requires unbiased data collections and analysis. Whenever we are making our research, it needs collections of the research materials which are not biased. It must be unbiased. And on the basis of research materials, there must be analysis or interpretations of the facts available in our literature, whether it is a Pali canonical or Sanskrit Buddhist literature or Tibetan literature or Chinese Buddhist literatures. So on the basis of that, we are making analysis of these. And whatever we are writing, these are being substantiated by our references, whether they are footnotes or our endnotes. Research also expects critical interpretations. It is not only analysis, but you are making unbiased findings on the basis of your research methods. And whatever the findings or the conclusions which are drawn by a researcher, they are validated with the objectives of the research as well as hypothesis of the research. So this is called as our research. It also needs articulated documentation and presentations. Whenever we are making any systematic investigations, there is a need of giving the data available in our canonical, non-canonical commentarial literatures on the basis of the documents which are available in our literature, and we are making systematic presentations and the arrangement of our facts and findings. This is called as research leads. It also gives a further scope for the future generations of future researchers so that they can also get the research gap, and on the basis of that they can also pursue some of the research work in the same subject. What are the main focus of the research? Let us discuss in a very brief manner. Then we will come to the that what is research and what are the terms which are used for the research in our text available in Pali or other text. So there is a focus on research that it generates innovative ideas or the thoughts or the principles or the our theories, and these ideas are for the sake of advancement of the knowledge, and these advancement of the knowledge are making further advancement of the country or the nation. There is a focus on learning to challenge the existing knowledge. Whatever we are possessing the knowledge, we are making systematic investigation for the advancement of that knowledge. And for that, we are making research. And that there is a challenge for before the researchers that on the basis of the methods available in our research, and there must be research strategy on the basis of that we are making some findings or interpretations of the thoughts, ideas or theories. So there is a focus on using creative capacity to discover or invent something new, including theory and interpretations. There must be research aptitude. There must be inclinations to our passion towards finding the new truth, that whatever we are having possessing the knowledge, how it can be developed, or how the knowledge can be developed. So there must be a creative capacity, in the sense that you must have capacity to interpret in your words, and how you are presenting the things. There must be a creative capability for the researchers, and how you are presenting the ideas or the thoughts, and how you are interpreting those ideas in the finding, as a finding of your research. It also brings a new creation to fruition of new indicators or revelation a scale. Those who are making systematic investigations, they are able to get some of the new ideas or the thoughts or new findings based upon the quantitative method. There are some of the quantitative method related with our survey method, questionnaire method, sampling method. Through that, we are having some of the statistical tools or the techniques or the methods through which the variables findings are available. So in that way, we are making evaluation of the our knowledge in that sense. Research focus also diversifies as far as possible, particularly later in the career. Now, when a researcher makes the systematic investigation related with any topic, it also gives him boost for the career also, and in that way it can be developed. What are the aims of the research? There are five, six the aims and objectives of doing any research. If you are having any problem related with the research, then there must be some aims and objectives also. First of all, to understand the properties of the given phenomena, that is, what is the relations between voter and behavior, that how there is a change of the motive of the voter, as well as the behavior of the voters from place to place also, and from person to persons also. To understand the relationship between variables, how the things are changing, and all things are dependent on cause and conditions. Whatever the things which are happening in our day-to-day life, they are based upon the cause and conditions, that is the hetu and the pratyaya, and all things are causally related with each others. So how the things are, or the states or the phenomena are causally related with each other, we have to find out. So it also help us. The aim of the research is to understand that how the things are causally related with each other. To predict the outcome, the use of the theory, there is also we are coming to the any finding or the conclusion of anything, to replicate research for validations, to confirm or refute. Whenever we are having the hypothesis, that is the present solution of our research questions, and whenever they are processed through the research methods, then at the last, on the basis of the findings or analysis of the our things, based upon our literatures, we are testing that whether it comes true to the hypothesis or not. How there must be some ethics related from the our research questions to the findings also. So the aim of the research is to develop new algorithms or instruments, implementations of the and testing. How the researchers in the past, or the scholars who have put some of the knowledge, and we are possessing those knowledge. So what methods they had adopted it, whether it is possible by adopting the other research methods or techniques or the tools, so that the knowledge can be developed to produce a theory ultimate goal. The main objective of our research is that how the thoughts and ideas or the principles or the theories, how they are interpreted in different manners, what the scholars have already given in the past. So this is the main our aim of the research. What are the motives of the knowledge? Sometimes the researches, pure researches, as well as applied researches, they are being done for the sake of advancement of the knowledge we have seen, and this advancement of the knowledge, especially in the field of our literatures, humanities, and arts, these are based upon the literatures. Sometimes researches are being done for the sake of commercials. Go- the government agencies as well as the policy formulations which are being adopted by any government, they are also making investigations that how the crops and the grains can be also there will developed, and how there must be bumper crop. In that way, they investigations are being done, researches are being done, commercial researches are done for the sake of advertising of any things, how the things are advertised in the present days. You can see, and that how for the sake of advancement of the commercial, the investigations are being done. There are some of the agencies who are also making investigations, and these are also called as a research. And sometimes people are doing research for the sake of self satisfactions. So this is there are three, four motives of our research. Let us discuss that how research methodology which we are supposed to do in for the dissertations, that is the master degree, by submission of the dissertations, how a researcher starts his process of research, or how he begins for the research. First of all, he makes a literature search, and there is a continuous literature search related with the topic as well as the subject also. And the whenever the literature search is being done on any topic, and there must be some good books as well as the research papers in the peer-reviewed journals. They must be reviewed by the scholars. And then there must be that what are the research gaps of the scholars who have written the books or the text or the research paper in the peer-reviewed journals. What are the research gaps? What are the scope of the further research? They have to find out, they have to create some of the research problems or research questions. On the basis of the research questions, a scholar moves for finding that what are the present solution of the research problem. This present solution of the problem is called as hypothesis. And based upon the hypothesis, he begins research strategy. And whenever he makes the research strategy, he finds that there are some of the methods, whether it is qualitative method of research and quantitative method of research. These two are especially in the field of our arts and humanities. A researcher tries to find out all these things. Under the qualitative, we are having analytical, descriptive method of research. But in the case of quantitative, we are having questionnaire method, survey method, sampling method. These three are coming under the quantitative method. Qualitative method is called as the research which is generally being carried out based upon the research materials available in our canonical, non-canonical, or commentarial literatures available in Pali, Buddhist Sanskrit literature, Tibetan literature, Chinese literatures. So whatever we are getting, so based upon that, this is the qualitative method of research is being done. And for the quantitative method, whenever the empirical research, that is the whenever the data are being done on the basis of the numerical, that is the when the sampling method or questionnaire method or survey method, through this, there we are having the variables, the number of findings, and whenever the findings are being done on the basis of the number, then it is called as quantitative methods of research. So there is a strategy of the research scholar that how he moves for the finding the research method, which type of research method can be carried out by a researcher, and then he makes collections of the research materials available in our canonical literatures. We have discussed in Pali, Buddhist Sanskrit literature, or Tibetan literature, or Chinese literatures. And whenever the data are being collected, whether the primary sources and the secondary sources, we'll discuss that what are the primary sources and the secondary sources. These are being analyzed by a scholar. And after analyzing all these things, a researcher moves for the checking of the validity, that whether the findings or the interpretations which are done by a researcher, whether they are coming true to the hypothesis of the research problem or not. The present solutions which came into mind, and through the research method, when a researcher has carried out the research process, the findings which have come, whether they are true or not, then there is a need of writing the scheme of arrangement of the chapters, and researcher tries to write all these things in the discussion chapter of our dissertations, and then it is being published. So from the continuous literature search till the submission of the dissertation, there is a need of ethics. There should not be any copying of or copy of any ideas or the thoughts or the ideas from any scholar or any book or any research paper. So these are the research process. If you see that what are the research process we have discussed in our last slide. So this research process is a systematic linear process with few parallel activities alongside. There are a few parallel activities, discussing with the supervisor, going to the library, discussing with the experts available in that field. So these are some of the things which are called as parallel activities. It is transparent. There is no any hidden things. The research must be clear, and it must be transparent. It must be telling with the research objectives or aims and objectives of the research. It is confined to the study of a well-defined problem. We have seen that there are research questions, and on the basis of the research questions, there are a statement of the research problem. So this is confined to the study of a well-defined problem. It involves in-depth analysis and validations, and the analysis which is being done on the basis of the research methods, whether it is qualitative method or the quantitative method, and it is being tested at last that whatever the research methods which were used for the research, whether they are tested or validated or not. Its outcome is to be interpreted within the data limits, but critically. A researcher is supposed to make a critical analysis of all the literature or the data which have been collected by the researcher. It provides clear verdict on the problem. It is often cumulative in nature. So a researcher needs that whatever the research problems or the statement of the research problems which have been given, there must be clear testing of those things through the research methods. So types of research, we have seen that there are only basically literature research is of qualitative method and quantitative method. Besides that, there are so many methods like textual research, historical research, analytical method of research. But here we are giving that why a researcher does do. There are three questions: what, why, and when. Why the thoughts and the ideas which were propounded by our scholars, previous scholars, and whether they, why they are coming these ideas, and what type of modalities were adopted by those scholars, and the findings which have come, whether they are right or wrong. So in that way, there is extension or generalizations of the currently available results. Explanatory: why finding the result by building theories and hypotheses and testing them. Descriptive: what, where, who, and how. Whenever we are making a qualitative method of research by description of the ideas or the thoughts, then we are writing what, where, who, and how, and these are going to lead our research. There must be comparative with other scholars or other books also, that how they are compared with that. And there is a life history research also. So there are generally three types of research, which are predictive evaluation study, new improvement of the process. This is the for general, whenever predicting estimates that what is the impact of viewing the TV for a long period, and what does the society, there is an impact on the children or the family members. So in that way, the researchers makes investigations, and that estimation is called as predictive. And evolution studies that what is the effect of TV on the reading habits of a student or researcher. In that way, it is called as evolution. Or whenever there is a new ideas or improvement of the process or product or service, the systematic investigations are being carried out. This is called as new research. So in that way, there are researches which are being done especially for the sake of advancement of the knowledge, and in the field of economy, demographic, fiscal, community, social, environmental. These are the general subjects which are being carried out, or systematic investigations are being done. And really, being a student of Buddhist studies, we can also see that how the economic, demographic, fiscal, community, social environment things are related with our subject, and how the ideas or thoughts or the teachings of the Buddha which are available in our canonical literature, how these are also talking about the economy, demography, fiscal, community, social environment. And we can see that how these wages, employment, land value, or sex ratios, age structure, these are also available in our research. There is another research which are called as e-research or online research. And nowadays there is a also demand of the e-research or online, and these are use of research methods to study different aspects of the internet. Generally using the internet to apply research methods for the research question. Undertaking collaborative research using tools like online surveys and interview, online focus groups, virtual ethnography. For each social science research refer, there are some of the websites which are given. Now we are coming that how the thoughts and ideas or the theories or principles which are propounded by scholars, by assuming the our body of a elephant, there are six persons who are just touching the body of the different parts of the body, and they are predicting that how the trunk or the our feet of the elephant are in the same way. Predict the researches or systematic investigations are also carried, and they are understood. But how the thoughts and ideas are differing person to person on the basis of the research methods, we have to also understand. And these are called as multidisciplinary research or transdisciplinary research. Multidisciplinary research is generally done on the basis of our when a ideas or thoughts which is being carried with other disciplines related with our subject, then this is called as multidisciplinary. Now there is a need of time also, that how people or researchers are doing interdisciplinary subject research. So there are how the things they are taken in the multidisciplinary research. You will see that there are three subjects in which there are feedbacks on the thoughts or ideas or the theories, and how the feedbacks are collected together, and then analysis of that thing can be done. And whenever the disciplines working in the series like D1, D2, D3, then these are coming in a different problem, and there are some of the research problems which are also coming. And in the case of interdisciplinary research, so thing D1, D2, D3 discipline, there are three disciplines here, but they are joined together. And the discipline, the result which are coming from this interdisciplinary, it is more if impact or more resourceful also. So coming to the main subject, our we are coming to that of what is research and how it has been said by the Blessed One. We are coming to the main subject now. This was the introduction, that what is the research. We had discussed that research is the systematic investigation for the sake of advancement of the knowledge, whatever we are possessing the knowledge. Basically, there are two types of research: basic research, that is the pure research, or applied research. Pure or basic research is done for the sake of advancement of the knowledge on the basis of the research materials available in our literature. And whenever the ideas or the thoughts they are applied, or any theories which are applied for the sake of advancement of the people, they are called as applied research. So here now we are coming that how in Buddhist studies, being a student of Buddhist studies, one must know that how the term research has been defined in our Pali or in text of Buddhist studies. So we also see there is a text, Pasarasi Sutta of Majjhima Nikaya. It is also called as Arya Pariyasena Sutta, which is the 26th sutta of Majjhima Nikaya. There are 152 suttas which discusses about the philosophical teachings of the Buddha. They are classified in the Majjhima Nikaya. So out of the 152 suttas, there is one sutta which is called as Arya Pariyasena Sutta, which discusses about the quest of Siddhartha Gautama as a bodhisattva, and how he renounced the household life for the sake of getting in knowledge of the truth, that what is the truth. And in the search of truth, or in the quest of truth, he left the house, and he got the enlightenment. So in that way it has been discussed, and in that it is called as a pariyasena. The term which has been used for the research is called as a pariyasena, and it is the research pariyas, the term is pariyaseti. The verb is pariyaseti, that to make a investigation of that, and it has been that. So it is said that Buddhism is a psycho-ethical thought and practice, which it takes a being from the state of suffering to the state of eternal bliss. And in between these two things, that is the thought and practice, that is the pariyatti and patipatti, he prescribed a middle path, that is called as middle path, that is the Arya Athangi ko Maggo, that is the eightfold path. And through he has given that how a person can purify his consciousness and how he can get a state of eternal bliss. So Buddha was a very is scientist who gave the things on the basis of the logic and reasoning. And he has also made a scientific investigation or systematic investigations. The thoughts and the ideas which were propounded by our Buddha, they are also called as scientific teachings of the Buddha. And in that way, all the teachings are based upon the logic and reasoning. In the Mahaparinibbana Sutta, Buddha also says that do not accept the things whatever it comes to you for the sake of listeners or from by the way of heresy or from the teachers. But whenever you get anything, you try to investigate in that whether these are coming into the canonical literature or not. And when they are coming, then you can accept it. So in that way, it is called as pariyasyati, or that to mix the investigation. In a very brief manner, we are going to discuss that how the term research has been and has come in our text also. In Sanskrit Buddhist literatures, we are having the term related with the research as Anusandhana, Anusilana, Parisilana, Gavesana, Sodha, Sansodhana, and Anvensiki. So there are six, seven terms which are available in the Sanskrit for the term research, and each term has its own significance. So here, first of all, Anusandhana. Anu is the prefix which gives the meaning of the term, and Sandhan is placing. There are two words, Sam plus Dha. That Sam means in the sense of properly, Dha means placing the things. Whenever the things are placing in a proper manner or systematic manner, this is called as Anusandhan. It is another name of investigations. In the same way, Anusilana, that whenever the classical texts are studied for the sake of knowledge and they are studied again and again, in that sense it is called as Anusilana. So Anusilana is also another name of the research. Parisilan is the same as Anusilan when the any concept or the ideas or the thoughts they are studied again and again in our classical text, then it is called as a parisilana. And there is another term which is coming, gavesana. Gavesana is also related with the investigation of the facts or the ideas or the thoughts. Literally, the term comes from the go, which means cow. Go on Anvensana, that is the in searching of the cows. During the ancient time, the cows were grazing in the field, and the people were also searching their cows. In that sense, the Gavesana term has also come for the research. There is another term which is called as Soda. Soda is rectifications. Whenever it comes from the Sanskrit term as a Sodhana, we are when we are making any rectification or refinement by purifying the things, and then it is called as sodha. Sodha is also systematic investigations of the facts or the ideas or the things by the way of our purifications, making refinement. In that sense, it is called as. There are three terms related with our research, that is the quest, search, investigations, rectifications, and refinement. So these are the terms which are related with our research. Sansodhana. Sodhana is also related with the purifications of the medicines. Generally, in Ausadhi, that is the in the preparation of the medicines, there are purifications of the herbal things, and on that basis, the term Sansodhana, that is the purifications properly. In that sense, it is called as. There is another term, Anvenchiki. Anvenchiki is a metaphor from the root ikha, that to see or to visualize the things. Here, visualize or to see the things properly, or in by the way of searching again and again, or by making investigation again and again. This is called as Anvenchiki. So these are some of the terms which are given in the Visuddhi Mag. Acharya Buddha Ghosh gives terms related with the Silana, and he defines the term Sila or morality in the sense of Silana, that is the seal, or morality is in the sense of composing, that is the Silana. And he also says that in what sense a Silan is, or in what sense composing is there. So he says that it is in the sense of samadhan and upadharana. Samadhan is that whenever the rectifications of the physical and the vocal actions are being done by the way of good conduct, in that sense, here is samadhan. So whenever there is a coordination of the physical and vocal actions by the way of good conduct, it is called as samadhan. And whenever Acharya Buddha Ghosh defines the term, what is upadharana, that it is said that kusalanam dhammanam patitthana vasena adhar bhavoti, that it is in the sense of giving the base of the establishment of the moral dhamma, that is the kusala dhamma. So in that sense, silan is also done. So here in the case of research or systematic investigations, whenever the research materials are put together in a systematic manner, or in a coordinated manner, in a systematic chapterizations, and whenever the facts or ideas they are analyzed on the basis of our development of the new ideas, this is called as silana. So this silana has been also interpreted by Acharya Buddha Ghosh in our. So we had discussed about the Pariyesan Sutta of the Majjhima Nikaya, how in T.W. Rees Davids in the Pali English Dictionary he defines the term that this Pariyasati is in the sense of Pariyatti, that it is the careful investigations of the term or investigations. Sometimes in the text of Vibhanga, which is called as second book of Abhidhamma Pitaka, there is Vibhanga is in the sense of Vibhajan Arthena Vibhangam, that making analysis of the ultimate reality is namely Chitta Chetasik or Rupa Nibbana. This is called as Vibhanga. So here in the research, there is a analysis of the ideas or the thoughts by the way of the divisions in different manners. So in that sense, research is also called as Vibhanga in our Pali text. Further, it is also called as Binichya. There are in Sanskrit it is called as Vinishya. In Pali it is Binichya. So it is also in the term we are having the text like Paramarth Vinishya or Arth Vinishya Sutra. So there are some of the sutras which are making the investigations of the meanings of the teachings of the Buddha. So, in that way, the term Vinishchay or systematic investigations are also related with our term research. So here research, whatever we have discussed, that research is a systematic investigation of for the sake of advancement of the knowledge. But as being a student of Buddhist studies, we are having that research is the name of scientific way of investigation of the truth on the basis of previous available research materials or the facts or the ideas or the knowledge. Whatever we are possessing the knowledge on the basis of the those knowledge, we are making the advancement of those knowledge or systematic investigations, that is called as research. So there are some of the basic elements of the research, that is the how the new ideas are coming from the researches, and how the truth or the facts are being analyzed, and how they are interpreted on the basis of the research materials, and how the innovative ideas which are coming in our findings on the basis of our research method. This is the originality of the research, and how there are excellence in the explanation of some of the terms or the ideas or the thoughts it is given. And the another thing that the research also gives penetrative into the new ideas or the thoughts. So these are related with and how the this advancement of the knowledge is going to give the new directions of the state or our research. In that sense, there is a research. So there is a purpose of or objectives of the research, for what purpose we are making any research, that we are making collections of the research on the base whatever we are having the research materials, on the basis of we are collecting the data, and we are presenting in the way which has not been presented by our previous scholars, and we are making interpretations or analysis of those facts and ideas in different manners. So these are the way of writing. This is not, but let us discuss that what are the types of the research in a very brief manner. We'll discuss in our next class. But here there are some of the qualitative method of research and quantitative method of research which are being carried out by the researcher in our discipline Buddhist study. But anyway, there are textual researches also. There are area studies research. There are conceptual researches which are being done. And there are critical edition of a manuscript or a text which is being done. There are long-term project research which are done by the universities or by the University Grants Commission. The big projects are being also carried out. There are comparative research methods also. There are sampling method, survey method, library method, which are the types of the research. Now coming to the our subject of Pali as well as Buddhist strategy, we'll discuss that what are the significance of the research in the discipline of our Buddhist studies. We have seen in our syllabus of MDTD that how there is a scope of research in the discipline of Buddhist studies. So especially in the Pali language literature or Sanskrit Buddhist literatures, we are making, or even in Tibetan and Chinese Buddhist literatures, we are making the researches mainly in the field of language, literature, religion, philosophy, and the themes. So, under the languages, we are making grammar, aesthetics, change comparison, and under the literatures, we are making analysis of the author, a style of writing, or a style of in the suttas or the prose or the poetry which are available in our Pali text, the art, and how the manuscripts which are related with any Pali language or Sanskrit Buddhist literature or Tibetan literature or Chinese literatures, and how the icons, and there is a comparison of from one tradition of literatures to another tradition of literatures. And related with a religion, there are researches which are being done on the basis of the concept, the theories, or the principles, or the law which are available in our literatures, and how the order, the Sangha, and how these are compared with others. In the sense of philosophy, we are making related with the notion or any concept or the ethics or the comparison, and on the basis of politics, we are discussing governance, law, administration, comparison, ritual, festival. Under the social acts, we are studying research or systematic investigation in the field of ritual, festival, transaction. And in the field of science, we are making concept, theory, method, comparisons. We are having the medicines in our literatures, whether it is in Pali or Sanskrit Buddhist literature. We are having the related with our science, that is the astrology and other things which are also discussed. And in the case of applied, we are having medicines, finance, travel, and organizations. So these are some of the things, and it can be also related with other literatures also, Sanskrit Buddhist literatures. In the text, we are make investigations related with the language, literature, religion, philosophy, themes, politics, social aids, aids. So generally, we had discussed that in Buddhism, we are making the two types of research, that is the theoretical or applied. In the way we had discussed that there are two terms which is related with our Buddhism, that is the Pariyatti and Patipatti. Pariyatti is the name of the teachings of the Buddha which are collected in our Tipitaka, that is the teachings of the Buddha which are available in the canon in the form of Vinaya Pitaka, Sutta Pitaka, and Abhidhamma Pitaka. They are called as a theoretical. And when these thoughts or the teachings, they are applied, and how they are applied for the sake of our day-to-day life, then they are called as applied research. So applications of the Buddha's tenets or the teachings of the Buddha, as mentioned in the text, this is called as patipatti, or how by the way of practice, that is the samatha and vipassana, or that is the mindfulness, sati. There are so many ways of purifications which have been discussed in the Pali and other texts also, like in Rath Vinita Sutta of Majjhima Nikaya. We are having the seven stages of purifications which have been discussed by the Blessed One, and how this seven stages of purifications, they are also discussed by Acharya Buddha Ghosh in our Visuddhi Magga text. So, especially in Pali literatures, the researches are related with the canonical Buddha's teachings of the Buddha, which are available in Vinaya Sutta and Abhidhamma, and non-canonical, which are generally the commentaries which were written by our acharyas. They are also called as narratives and discourses from the Buddha's life and the teachings. Suppose Jatak has been written, commented by Acharya Buddha Ghosh as Jatak At Katha or Nidan Katha. We are having the how the narratives which are available in the Jatakas, they were also commented by in commentarial literatures. Besides that, we are also having Anupitaka, that is the non-canonical literature, that is the Nethipakaran, Petkopadesh, and Milindapayu. So here, researching Pali Tipitaka or canonical literatures to address some of the models problems given below can be also useful. We had discussed that how economy, demography, populations, society, they can be subjects of our Buddhist studies. In the same way, we are also having that how increasing food productions, detections and control of fatal diseases, bioethics issues like euthanasia, cloning, human rights preservations, and sustaining ecology and environment. These are some of the things which are available in the text of Sarvastivad, Sautrantric, Madhyamik, and Yogachar. These are the four major philosophical traditions in Buddhism, and they can also provide some guidelines for we can see it. So now we are coming to the main our how there are 7 stages of research steps for writing any dissertation or any research thesis. So we had already seen that there must be continuous literature research related with the topic of the research, and there must be reviews of the primary sources as well as secondary sources on the literature, and based upon those literature there must be some guidelines, finding of the research gaps, what are the research gaps which are left by our scholars, and in that way he can identify some of the research problem. There must be a statement of the problem, then there must be research questions, as well as on the basis of the research questions there are objectives of the research, and on the basis of the objectives of the research there are hypotheses of the research, that is the present solution of the research problem, and on the basis of the research problem the researcher makes a research strategy, and he finds that which type of research method can be undertaken by a scholar, and then he makes a research a strategy, and he takes any of one of the qualitative or quantitative method of research. He moves towards further, and then he collects the data or the research materials related with the topic, and then he can analyze and make interpretations of those data, and lastly they can be tested or validated that whether they are coming true to the hypothesis of the research problem or not, and then prepare a research plan, and then the chapters are being written. So this identifying the research problem, establishing the research questions, and the research strategy, these are called as preliminary research actions, and it includes continuous literature search, and review is expected by researchers, and in every stage from identifying the research problem till the prepare the research or dissertations, ethics is followed by a researcher on each step. So these are some of the points which so time is left, or otherwise we can move to the next class. If time is there is no time, Kamalji.
Yeah, we can lead up to 5 minutes, Professor.
Okay. So uh, we had discussed that there is no any abrupt statement in the dissertations or the thesis, whatever researcher or scholars write, it must be substantiated by the references or the citations, and there must be research aptitude to the scholar, and he must have a passion, or he must be patient. There are so many hurdles in the path of the researcher making systematic investigations, but he must be very much patient, and he must be very much curious that how the things are happening in our day-to-day life, how the things are causally related or causally linked to each other, and how the things which are happening in our day-to-day life, how these are developed for the sake of advancement of the society or the family. So there must be curiosity to know the facts that how these have come, why, what, and when. These are the three things which are generally coming in our mind. So there is a starting point of the research that how a person or researcher must be curious to know about the fact or the knowledge whatever we are possessing, and how the things are causally related with each other, and how the we are possessing the knowledge, how it can be developed. And if we are not satisfied with the findings of our previous scholars, how it can be analyzed or interpreted in different manner on the basis of our canonical, non-canonical, or commentarial literatures. There must be interpretations of the new ideas or the thoughts, how it can be this. And if we are not satisfied, then how the things which are coming in our day-to-day life, we are not accepting the things. So these must be the starting point of the things, that how the things are happening. Suppose we cannot do, if an egg is broken, we cannot make a stew of that egg, we cannot make it. But the ideas or the thoughts, how it can be analyzed or it can be interpreted with the help of the interpretations by our acharyas, we have to find out and we have to think about it. And it all depends that how the research problems which are arising on the basis of the research gap which have been left by our previous scholars, and how we can locate the problem related with our research topic. So it is the duty of there must be patience to know about the problem and how the things are happening in our day-to-day life. There must be some type of patience to know about it, and in that way we can locate the research problems. And if there are research problems, there must be some solution which are arising in our mind, and that is called as hypothesis. So these we will discuss in our next class about the locating the problem. If you have any questions related with our today's lecture related with the our topic, you can ask.
Yes. Thank you very much, Professor. And do you
Yes.
have